Hello kids, good morning and Jai Hind. Let's read a story of clever Somu today and find out how cleverly Somu sorted out his father's problem. He not only taught a lesson to Muthu's parents who were ignorant about their child's behavior but also made headmen give the right verdict. So let's read the story. Long ago, in a village near Pondicherry, there lived a very wealthy trader called Subbu. Subbu had a son, Somu, who was a very clever boy. Their neighbor too had a son, Muthu. He was thoroughly spoiled. His parents doted on him and let him do exactly as he pleased. So every day, Muthu did the craziest of things, and his parents made no effort to stop him. The boy's favorite pastime was throwing stones at the customers who came to Subbu's shop. His parents merely looked on and did nothing. If the customers or Subbu shouted at the boy, he just chuckled and threw more stones. Soon people stopped going to Subbu's shop because although they liked doing business with him, they didn't like being pelted with stones. Every time they went to his shop, poor Subbu was very unhappy. He went to his neighbor and said, "Please ask your son not to throw stones at my customers." But the parents paid no attention. Subbu then complained to the headman of the village. But the headman only said, "This is the act of a mad boy, and he cannot be held responsible for it. You must forgive him and carry on with your business as best as you can." There was nothing Subbu could do, and so he went home very disheartened. Subbu's son Somu, who had heard the headman's verdict, was very upset to see his father so unhappy and decided to do something about it. The next morning, when his father opened the shop, Somu stood outside, facing the neighbor's house. Whenever Muthu hurled a stone, he caught it and kept it. He did not miss a single one. In the evening, when all the customers had left and his father closed the shop for the day, the boy gathered all the stones and took them home. Day after day, Somu caught the stones, making sure the customers were not hurt, and every evening he took the stones home. One day, Muthu came out of his house, grinning from ear to ear. He threw a packet at Subbu's shop and disappeared into his house. Somu caught the packet and opened it. To his surprise, he found it was full of jewelry, not stones. Gold earrings, necklaces, and nose studs glittered in the bright sunlight. Somu took the packet home and hid it in a bag of rice. Then he came out again and took his position outside his father's shop. Just then Muthu's parents rushed towards him. "Return the packet my son just threw," said Muthu's mother. "What packet?" asked Somu, with an innocent look. "I only catch the stones your son throws. In fact, I have hundreds of them. Perhaps you would like to take some of those back." "My son threw my jewels out," screamed the mother. "Return them or I'll go to the headman." "Please go to the headman," said the clever boy. "In fact, I'll accompany you." The headman listened to Muthu's parents. He also listened to Somu. He understood exactly what the boy had done. There was a hush in the village square as the villagers waited to hear the headman's verdict. The headman was about to speak when Somu spoke up. "The headman is a very fair judge. He cannot give us a different verdict this time. What he said earlier still holds true, that this is the act of a mad boy and must be ignored. And Muthu must be forgiven." The village headman had no option but to agree. "Suppose son did not throw any of the stones back at your son, and you did not complain about them," he told Muthu's parents, who looked ashamed. "So if your son threw a packet, then the packet and its contents should be his too. And in future, curb your son's action. You didn't object to his throwing stones. How can you object to his throwing other objects?" After that, Subu was no longer bothered by Muthu, and customers once more flocked to him. So, children, did you like the story? It was interesting, no? Now, what you have to do? Just open your book to the chapter Clever Somu and read the story. You also have to underline the hard words that we will discuss in the next class. Thank you and have a wonderful day.